Hey guys, welcome to the Lifey Guy channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to safely replace an electrical outlet. In order to do this repair, there's a few tools you need to have on hand. So you need a night light or a no contact voltage detector. You need to have a Phillips screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, or if you can't find one on hand, you can use a butter knife like I've got here. You also need, obviously, your new electrical outlet and wall plate. A pair of pliers. I like needle nose pliers. They make it a lot easier to wrap around the wire if you have to do that. And then you've got some wire strippers here if you need to cut off the insulation off of the wire. So the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that the power is not on to your electrical outlet. If you don't, you could get electrocuted, which would be bad. My favorite method is to use a little LED night light. You can plug it in, see if there's any power. And there is. So now I'll go to my electrical box on the wall and I'll start flipping switches until this goes out. It looks like that was the right switch, so I'm gonna take this out. And just to be sure, before I start touching this with my bare hands, I'm gonna use my voltage detector here to see if there's any power. Nope, it should be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start unscrewing this and pulling it out of the wall. Now I'm going to unscrew these screws that are holding the wires in place on both sides. I got the right two wires detached, now I got to do the other side. These two black wires are typically the hot wires. These two wires are typically the neutral wires. And the green wire down here is the grounding wire. Now, if I want to just make sure that these are the hot wires, I could do that by going and flipping back on the switch on the breaker, like so. And now you can see exactly which wires are live. Okay, so we know that top black wire is live. This bottom black wire is not live right now because these two aren't connected. The grounding wire, the white wires, those aren't live, obviously. So this wire is the live wire. Turn it off. It's always good when you're doing electrical to not rush things. You do not want to make a mistake in wiring something incorrectly or in getting electrocuted. On our new outlet, you can see there's two golden screws. That's where the black or hot lines go. And then you can see that there are two silver screws. The two silver screws are where the neutral or the white wires go. And then down here, where there's a green screw, that's where we're going to screw in our grounding wire. At this point, I could cut these wires. Like I could cut them back here and strip them and then rebend these little loop-de-loops. But that takes quite a bit of time to do that, and it can be a little frustrating trying to get these loops just perfectly so they fit well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the loops here. The wires look like they're in good shape. They don't look like they're about to fall apart right here. So I'm going to keep that part the way it is. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take off these screws, put the wires in place, and re-screw them back on. It's worth mentioning that you want to keep track of the order of these wires. On the back of your outlet, it's also labeled that here on the brass side is hot wires, the white wires are the neutral, and down here is where the grounding wire goes. So these wires are kind of tight. Sometimes they're a little bit easier to move apart, and sometimes you've got more wiggle room, but these ones are pretty tight, so it's a little bit of a pain to work with when the wires are tight like this. You want to make sure you don't cut off too much of your wires, else you might not have enough give to pull them out from the wall and to attach them to your outlet. I unscrewed the screw, and now I'm going to screw in the new screw. Go ahead and use an impact driver gently to screw this in. Well, there's one wire. Now I'm going to do the other wires. Now I'm going to put in this grounding wire. Awesome. So these three screws are now secured to their wires. Now I'm going to secure the two hot wires to these brass screws. I've got the brass screws attached to the two black hot wires here. I've got these silver screws attached to the two neutral white lines here. Then here at the bottom, I've got the green screw attached to the green neutral wire here at the bottom. So now I'm going to screw the electrical outlet into the wall. It's going to push some of the wires back, and then we're going to test the electrical right after to make sure that no wires got knocked loose. Make it flush with the wall board. Now we're going to test the outlet, make sure it still works. Gonna flip the electrical back on. Hey, the electricity is working. Let me test the bottom outlet. Hey, it's working. Great. Last thing we need to do is put on the wall plate. Well, I hope this video has been helpful for you. I'm going to include links in the description below where you can buy tools like this voltage detector. It's super duper handy. I would highly recommend buying one if you don't have one. Needle nose pliers are ridiculously useful. I would recommend getting one of these. Wire cutters, anytime you're doing electrical work, super handy. LED light, super useful for checking if outlets are on or not. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you next time.